We love hip hop.
The stuff that he's talking about kind of bleeds in to this whole Project Yankee stuff that been going on. They made an arrest for about 20 people, and they're looking to do more arrests. They're saying that this bust might be the thing that puts a dent in the whole tow truck industry. I'll play some clips right here. Do me a quick favor while you're here and smash that like button so we can break the algorithm, and join the comment gang and subscribe. It's free. So yeah, 20 arrests, firearms, armored, plated, SUV seized in Project Yankee.
Police have provided more details this afternoon on what they're calling Project Yankee. It focuses on an investigation into criminal activity in the tow truck industry. Let's go live to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman. Beatrice, you were there. You were able to ask questions of Chief Myron Dibque as well as Superintendent Chief Matthews.
Absolutely. And so this was an update on a...
Hold on a second. 1 second, gang. Yo.
Are you on stream?
I'm on stream right now.
Okay, give me a call after you're done stream. I got some shit to talk to you about.
All right.
Big up, shout out We Love Hip Hop. Shout out my dog.
All right, I'll link you after.
Allah.
A group called the Union that Toronto police say they've dismantled. The Union, a major player, actually described by...
So this is the name of the crew, the Union.
Chief Superintendent Matthews as in the upper echelon when it comes to criminal activity related to the tow truck industry here in the city. When it comes to the number of people arrested as part of Project Yankee, and by the way, it concluded a week ago today. That's when the final police raids were actually carried out across the city of Toronto, arresting various people. In total, 20 people have been arrested. 111 charges have now been laid, including 52 counts of conspiracy to commit murder. 14 search warrants have been executed across the...
God damn, 111 charges. A lot of those times they be stacking up the charges though.
City and across various parts of the GTA as well. We heard that there were some communities in Durham and York as well connected to this particular investigation. 2 guns were seized and 4 vehicles were seized. Some of those vehicles, Bakari, not...
This is the thing that I showed you guys last week when these guys are just driving by, just lighting up the parking lot of the friggin' tow truck yard here.
Some vehicles that you see every day on the roads because they were armored.
Oh, thank you. They blocked it. Thank you.
Vehicles, which speaks to the level of violence that police are alleging members of this group are connected to. The average person generally doesn't need armored vehicles as part of their kind of arsenal of cars available to them. Also,
so what are they saying? They got bulletproof trucks? That's crazy.
Interestingly, Bakari, police not able to draw a direct line when it comes to this investigation and the Piper Arms mass shooting on March 7th. However, court records that were obtained by CP24 and CTV News indicate that some of the people arrested as part of Project Yankee are alleged to have been conspiring.
I don't know if this is the thing that happened on the Gardner the other day, because there was some wild pileup that happened on the Gardner where a man jumped over the side of the Gardner after a police chase.
Is conspiring to commit murder at 3 other establishments, 2 bars in Pickering and a bakery in Scarborough. That's public record. And so despite the fact that police wouldn't draw a direct correlation between this investigation and the Piper Arms shooting, court records indicate that those shootings at those establishments were set to happen kind of in the 24 hours after the Piper Arms mass shooting happened. Let me play some sound now from the chief and the chief superintendent at this press conference that happened just within the half hour.
As a result,
and I'm going to play a little bit more of that press conference in a minute.
Result of our investigation, acts of violence on a mass scale were deterred and prevented. We remain committed to addressing tow truck industry related crimes with a service-wide approach, and also by working closely with our law enforcement partners, as we did in this investigation.
There is a publication ban. I can't get into the details, but extreme acts of violence were prevented by this incredible investigation and the investigators making on-the-fly decisions.
I think when they do these publication bans, I think it's pretty obvious. They ain't trying to mess up these cases, man. They've been running around, and I'll put the quotation fingers, trying to stop a lot of this stuff. And for them to be putting out too much information at this point with social media and reactors like myself and a bunch of people who react to this type of shit, like they lose cases. They be putting these guys in jail. These guys I'm talking about, they be putting guys in jail, the police, and they get released in no time. All right. I'm not here to glaze the police right now, but if they are doing their jobs in any type of way, the court systems are not backing them in any way, bro. They could arrest 100 people, 99 people come out like within and beat the case most of the time.
To keep the community safe.
You might remember a couple of weeks ago, Bakari, when the police had that press conference that was directly related to the Piper Arms mass shooting. They did say that there was a link to violence within the tow truck industry. At the time, the superintendent who spoke to us said that those accused in that investigation were guns for hire, that they were not gang members, that these were simply guys hired by someone or a criminal organization to carry out these acts of violence like that shooting at the Piper Arms. So I asked the chief superintendent, he said those were the guys who were the guns for hire are the guys that you're announcing have been charged today, those who did the hiring. And he essentially confirmed that that was the case, Bakari, saying that the people arrested and charged as part of Project Yankee are some of the upper echelon of the organization and involved in a lot of criminal activities across the city of Toronto, violent criminal activities at that. Back to you.
Okay, so let's get to a more in-depth view of this press conference here. I got it loaded up. Press conference was about 16 minutes, maybe a little bit longer.
Well, let's go live to Toronto Police Headquarters. This is where investigators are providing an update on a tow truck wiretap investigation dubbed Project Yankee.
Organized crime unit at Durham Regional Police Service. Inspector Marco Napoleone of the Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau of the York Regional
This is the glazing section of the press conference.
Police Service, and Chief Superintendent Mike Stoddard from the Organized Crime Enforcement Bureau at the Ontario Provincial Police. Since early 2023, Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area have experienced a sharp escalation in crimes linked to individuals and groups vying for control of the towing industry. This includes homicides, shootings, arsons, intimidation, and extortion.
And all type of fuckery.
In 2024, 63 firearm discharge and shooting incidents were linked to tow truck related disputes, accounting for almost 13% of all shootings and firearm discharges here in Toronto. In 2025, these incidents have continued to occur, currently accounting for approximately 15% of the total. As you know, 2 weeks ago, we announced that 10 people had been arrested and 203 charges had been laid in relation to separate incidents, including a mass shooting at a Scarborough pub. Over the past 2 years, various initiatives.
I have more information on that pub as well, as far as with the owner of the pub and stuff like that. I'll see if I can pull that up in a second.
Task forces and investigations have led to dozens of arrests, hundreds of charges, and many crime guns seized, all tow truck industry related. Today, we are announcing that the Toronto Police, in partnership with the Durham Regional Police Service, York Regional Police, and the OPP, have arrested 20 people and laid more than 100 criminal charges in connection with violence in the towing industry. These arrests were the result of a lengthy investigation, and Chief Superintendent Matthews will be able to give you more context in a moment. However, at this time, a court-imposed publication ban prevents us from sharing many details. What I can say is that numerous people are now facing charges related to directing and participating in the activities of a criminal organization, along with multiple conspiracies to commit murder. As a result,
Okay. And listen, I got to keep my sources concealed. But as far as with this whole Piper arm shooting, the guy who owns the Piper Arms, and listen, I'm treading on some very, very shaky territory here. They're saying that the guy, and I'm not saying they, my sources say that the guy who was in the Piper Arms, this place that was shot up, that opened a few months ago and then it was shot up right away. One of the owner's sons, and this is allegedly, all allegedly, was involved in a shooting months ago which is also tow truck related. And this is what brings things full circle to why that place got shot up and why it's tow truck related. All right. This is just my BTS type of research that I be doing. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the people who be hitting me up behind the scenes. Peace Love says Friday's car is being towed as we speak. Yo, chill.
Of our investigation, acts of violence on a mass scale were deterred and prevented. We remain committed to addressing tow truck industry related crimes with a service-wide approach, and also by working closely with our law enforcement partners as we did in this investigation. I want to thank all of our partners, including the Ontario.
Here comes the glaze. Fast forward. Oh my God, you're gonna bring out the Mandem.
Means that many of our teams work together, including.
Look how much I skipped. I skipped like a minute long of glazing, bro. Like, give your jaw a rest. Pause.
In services and forensic identification services. We often talk about the work being done behind the scenes. Well, this is a great example of our officers working day in and day out to.
Jesus Christ, the glaze.
And our multi-year hiring plan helps us to be there for Torontonians.
This is long glaze, bro.
Devastating effects on our communities.
Okay.
For granted, and we must remain vigilant and committed in our efforts. Gun violence has devastating effects on our communities. Some of the tow truck industry related shootings that we have seen in the past months happened in public spaces. These events underscore the importance of the law reform we have asked for in the past. Last week, I was invited to Ottawa by the Federal Minister of Public Safety to discuss law reforms, including reforms to help address shootings in congregate settings. It's important to recognize that brazen shootings in public spaces have a disproportionate impact on our communities and must be treated.
Oh, bro, get to the real shit. Okay, let's get to it.
Like the one you can see on the screen beside me. We have arrested 20 people, laid 111 charges, including 52 counts of conspiracy to commit murder. We executed 14 search warrants, seized 2 firearms, and seized 4 vehicles. 3 of those vehicles were Cadillacs, like the one you can see on the screen beside me, and all 3 were armor plated. This is all the result of the Project Yankee investigation that started in October 2024.
Project Yankee.
This investigation focused on a group of individuals who referred to themselves as the Union. The group was believed to be responsible for numerous acts of violence intended to gain control over the towing industry. This violence was focused on the Scarborough area of Toronto and into both Durham and York regions. Project Yankee subsequently led to wiretap investigation targeting individuals associated with the Union and its members.
Let that breathe for a second. So they've got a crew that they, I guess, deemed called the Union. And this crew here has been linked all over Scarborough. Ooh. Guccico says yank like pull, tow. They think they're so clever. I didn't even catch that. I'm there thinking to myself, why did they call it Project Yankee? Ah, I see what you did right there. Hold on, let me make the screen bigger. My bad. I seen what you did right there, bro. Project Yankee. Oh, y'all thinking. Friday, you should have noticed the major drug bust in Toronto / GTA involved / Asian. I noticed it. Thank you, brother. Then the bully moving tax. Yeah. They're moving crazy right now.
For months, our teams, led by the Integrated Gun and Gang Task Force Major Project Section, gathered evidence identifying members of this union group as a criminal organization responsible for multiple acts of violence, intimidation, and extortion. These acts of intimidation include arson. We will now play a video. What you are looking at is an arson that we allege was committed by one of the accused. You'll see that the accused throws a Molotov cocktail that is off screen.
Hold on, I looked away for a second. My bad.
What you are looking at is an arson that we allege was committed by one of the accused. You'll see that the accused throws a Molotov cocktail that is off screen.
Thank God it's off screen.
This occurred in March in Toronto, and it was a form of intimidation directed at a victim who is part of the tow truck industry.
So he threw the Molotov. Oh, he's doing it now. Hold on. I might have to get this off the screen. Wow, he's about to do it right now. Hold up. Wait a minute. Can't show that on YouTube. Sorry.
We will now play another video. In this video, you can see a suspect torching the vehicle of a rival group. This happened in Whitby in February.
Damn.
Project Yankee concluded on June 11th, 2025 with the execution of 14 search warrants. We understand there will be many questions about this investigation, and under different circumstances, we would welcome the opportunity to provide more information. However, as the chief has said, a court-imposed publication ban prevents us from sharing further details at this time. These restrictions are in place to protect the integrity of the investigation, safeguard the court process, and help ensure that those arrested are held accountable and receive a fair trial. As you have seen with recent announcements, including from other police services, tow truck industry-related crimes are not only a City of Toronto problem, it's a challenge that is also affecting other regions in the GTA. This is why collaboration with other law enforcement partners continues to be essential.
Okay.
I will tell you the investigation is ongoing. We didn't seize them.
Okay, so let's get to the questions from the press.
It's quite uncommon. It does show the level of sophistication of this organized crime group.
And a point about tow trucks, it's a tow truck industry related issue, but you didn't see any tow trucks. Is there any significance to that?
Oh, I will tell you the investigation is ongoing. We didn't seize them at the time of our takedown, but the investigation is ongoing, and if the information provides us information about the seizure of these vehicles, we will definitely do it.
Do you think one phone?
These niggas ain't trying to say shit.
Do you think this particular gang group union is the most significant one in the city, perpetrating some of these allegations, that perpetrating some of the most volume of crimes, or is it one?
Not just on those directly impacted by the violence, but by whenever we get asked questions around this kind of thing, the one thing I do and the leadership does is look at what the evidence shows us and the data shows us regarding shootings. And you've heard me speak about this before. I do it with some trepidation, recognizing that one shooting's too many and that every shooting has a massive impact, not just on those directly impacted by the violence, but by those in the communities impacted. And frankly, when I think of our members responding, they respond into harm's way time and time again. So I'm very cautious when I talk about the data, but the data is showing that we have seen a reduction in gun violence. And the number.
So they're about to get the spiel that it's gone down, and no cap, it has gone down. So I will give them that. that their efforts have been making some contributions to the lowering of gun violence. So kudos to them on that.
Numbers are going downwards in a direction that we're very closely monitoring. But I believe, when you look at the numbers, it is showing that these investigations and our members' presence in our communities are making a difference.
Can you say how many of the 20 are out on bail at this point?
None.
Good question. Yeah, I don't know if y'all heard the question because it's kind of hard to hear the press. They said they want to know if there's like any of the 20 people who are out on bail at this point. All right. This guy's going to say none, but yeah, that's now. This is the press conference from today, Wednesday.
Chief, previously, 2 weeks ago at the Piper Arms presser, the superintendent at the time talked about the fact that those charged in that investigation were guns for hire. Are these the people that were doing the hiring? And can you, I guess, offer a distinction as to how this is a criminal organization versus previously where it was just a bunch of guys committing crime?
This guy's like, oh, me? Yeah, you, nigga.
So the information that we have from our investigation that I can speak on is that we are at the upper echelon. We are with the group that was organizing and hiring the acts of violence. And it's quite telling that none of them have criminal records or are before the courts because they are the higher level. This is why we have a specialized unit with the Toronto Police Service in our major project section. That,
you know what that means? None of them have criminal records. They all walk in. Oh, first offense. They're all walking. Probably have great lawyers because they're at near the top, obviously. They're all walking.
go after this very group. And the way that we go after them is through wiretap investigations, where we get the conversations about the planning and the organizing of these violent acts.
How long do you think the union's been acting here in this city? How long have they been around?
Good question.
I don't have the details about when the group formed, but many of them are tow truck operators that have operated in the city of Toronto for a great deal of time.
And one more question.
Why was it called Yankee or the Yankee?
I think it's because the group called themselves the Union, and going back to the U.S. Civil War, I think.
Chief, can I ask you an unrelated question? Constable Calvin out.
Oh, you were wrong about that. Whoever said that, it was because I think it was Gucci Ghost, because of them pulling the tow trucks. Wagga wagga wagga. No, it was some unions and Yankees and some historical shit. I don't know how they come up with the names of these projects, and they come up with a name of. I feel like every other week I hear like, now we're doing Project Snow Cone, and we busted, a bunch of people who were in a jewelry robbery ring, and I'm thinking to myself, jewelry robbery, Project Snow Cone. I don't know how they come up with the names of these things. Salute to Shade in the Six. She wants to know what is happening. I'm covering the tow truck wars right now as far as the 20 people who got arrested. And for anybody else also who's coming into to the live stream right now, we talking about the tow truck wars. Watch your trucks. Watch who you let pick up your trucks. Get a guy. Put it that way. Here's some advice for y'all before I continue this press conference here. Get a guy. All right, or a girl, whoever, but most of the time it's men. So get a guy. What I mean by that is, I know a guy who, if I get into a tow truck issue, I'm gonna just holler at him. You come get me. If you can't come get me right now, if I can find some way to pull off on the side of the road, I'll just wait. I'll accept no tolls from anybody else. I'll wait for you, brethren. All right. My guy. I'm going to holler at my guy. Don't just, unless you're with CAA. If you're with CAA, then fine. Then just do your thing. Just holler at CAA. They'll come get your car. Okay? But if you have to just depend on, and listen, this is no shade on any of the tow truck companies out there. Y'all are like, yo, you trying to get in our business. Like, listen, fam. Y'all got the block so hot right now. Multiple arrests that are happening. I feel like I got to give a little advice. Get a guy, all right? Find somebody that you know who does tow trucking, might own a tow truck yard, hopefully. Maybe holler at a friend, see if they know somebody, and then link with that person, develop a relationship with them, and if anything, holler at your guy. Because these other niggas, I don't know what's going on with them, bro. Spooky.
today. His case before the courts concluded, sentenced to 12 months probation, 3 years firearm prohibition related to a Kijiji deal gone wrong. Can you talk about how this is going to affect this constable's job within the Toronto Police Service?
Well, to be fair to the entire process, I'm yet to be briefed on the specifics of the court finding. But when I am, we'll take into considerations what we have as options under the new Community Safety Policing Act and what options I have available to me as chief, and we'll go from there.
Okay. So that's the long and short of it. Y'all got pretty much what's happening right now. They've basically arrested 20 people. I don't think that they're going to be able to hold on to these people. Do I still have the old poll up that I put up before? I was asking, do we need a tougher legal system? 65% says yes, 35% says no. So it's an overwhelming response of people that are like, yeah, we might need to get a little bit tougher when it comes to the legal system, because if these guys arrested 20 people, like I said before, 19 of them are touch and road. All right. I'll even go as far as to say probably 20 of them are touch and road. And 18 of them are touch and road scot-free. You know what I'm saying? They're just walking out, George Jefferson in their way out the damn courtroom. So I don't know. Don't get too excited, gang. Okay. But yeah, salute to everybody who's been affected by this whole tow truck wars. You know what I'm saying? Not the victims. But yeah, let's move on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.